Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon. Welcome to Hamilton's traditional July 4th Patriotic program. On this July 4th, we are also blessed and we celebrate our freedom of religion. I want to tell you first about something which is kind of related to our theme today. We have a project sponsored by Hamilton's 17-strong board. It's called the Steeples of Hamilton Poster Project, which highlights some of Hamilton's beautiful church steeples. In 2016, the poster was created by Pat Brown, a Hamilton photographer, to benefit Hamilton's German Village. The posters come in two sizes and can be purchased today at the table just to my right. So please consider purchasing one of those posters. Our invocation will be by, I'm going to call her Pastor Shack for right now. Pastor Shaquilla Matthews was born and raised in Hamilton, Ohio. She is the founder and pastor of the Truth and Life Community Church. Pastor Shack left Hamilton for a while and went to Indiana, and we're so glad that she came back home. She's also the founder and director of the very innovative program called the Pastor Shack Job Mentoring Program, which is currently employing 50 teens here in Hamilton, ages 13 to 18. So right now, the invocation by Pastor Shack, Shaquilla Matthews.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that introduction. Let us pray. Dear Lord, there is no greater feeling of liberty than to experience freedom from sin and death that you provided us through your Son, Jesus Christ. Today, our heart and our soul are free to praise you. For this, we're thankful. We ask that you bless this great city of Hamilton and all the citizens that reside in. And on this day of independence, we're also reminded of those who have sacrificed for our freedom and followed the example of your Son, Jesus Christ. We thank you for this day. We ask that you bless each and every person that's here, that this will be a safe and awesome Independence Day. We thank you for your presence that's here and the rich history of faith in the community in the city of Hamilton. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Shaquilla Matthews. We will now have the posting of colors by Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 15. The posting of the colors. Two of our greatest partners for the July 4th celebration, one being DAV Chapter 15, you'll hear their name mentioned quite a bit today, but also the Boy Scouts of America. Our Pledge of Allegiance today, leading us in today's pledge, is Noah Neely. Noah is an 11-year-old Boy Scout from Troop 926, sponsored by Grace United Methodist Church. His father is Ron Neely, who's a Cub Scout leader in Pack 926. And Noah just graduated from Pack 926 and moved up to the troop level of scouting. Noah, please lead us.
Will the audience please rise? Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, by liberty and justice for all. 2.
How about a round of applause for Noah? Great job. We're now going to have a few solemn moments. One, veterans from DAV Chapter 15 will now do a 21-gun salute. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just played perfectly by Joe Walden of Hamilton High School's band. He asked me if he could do it over, and he just hit a grand slam. Thank you, Joe. Great job. You can tell Joe's a true leader already, but I want to also tell you about someone else very special. Macy Cunningham. You can tell a lot of folks love Macy Cunningham. She is going to sing the Star Spangled Banner. She's 11 years old. She is the gifted daughter of Mark and Tara Cunningham. She obviously has a lot of family and friend support who love her. Macy is an impressive singer, songwriter, and performer. She's going into the 7th grade this coming year. She excels in her studies, as well as is heavily involved in theater. Macy's mission is to use her voice through singing, humor, faith, and creativity to let the world know that God has our back. I first heard Macy sing at Reverend Cooley's block gospel party, if you remember that, Macy. And I knew that she was somebody special right away. She's also sung at Cincinnati Reds baseball games. And one of these years, I know she'll be singing in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Spangled Banner will be sung by Macy Cunningham.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job, Macy. Great job. With young people like Macy and Joe, you know our country's in good hands. Thank you, Macy. Beautiful rendition. Before we continue on with the program, I want to recognize the veterans who were in the parade today. They were being chauffeured by the Hamilton Fairfield Corvettes Club, and of course we want to thank them. If you could hold your applause till the end, that would be great, but we've got Min Turner. Min, if you'll raise your hand. He is dressed in his military uniform from World War II. Also, he was celebrated recently by Princeton Pike Church of God as a World War II veteran, a man of great faith. We have William Turner standing right next to Min Turner. Min, you want to raise your hand? William, want to raise your hand? They are not related, but they're definitely brothers, Army brothers. They were both in one in the United States Army Air Corps, Min, and William was in the United States Army. And William got a Bronze Star, was an infantryman. Albert Miller is here. He's raising his hand. Battle of the Bulge, fought with General Patton, also United States Army, World War II. Bill Day, I'm not sure if Bill Day is still here or not, but he was in the parade, World War II, United States Army. Bill Reisiger, I know Bill has family from out of town, World War II, U.S. Navy. Russell Carr lives in Lindenwold, a great guy, World War II, U.S. Army. He's also a tank man. He won several combat awards and saved many lives when he was over in Europe. Ray Conlon, also World War II. He Signal Corps, he was a cook, he was in the infantry, he did it all for the United States Army. He was also very active in the VFW. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say, how about a round of applause for all those World War II veterans and those of you who are World War II veterans who are here today as part of the audience. Thank you very much for your service. Okay, we next go to Ellis Ittle. I know he's got family who drove him today. Ellis was in the Korean War, United States Air Force. Philip Alexander was involved in the 21-gun salute. He was in the Vietnam War, United States Army. He's a past state commander of Disabled American Veterans, and he is a friend and supporter of so many things that go on in Hamilton. David Blevins is here. You might have recognized him. He was in his fatigues, Vietnam War, U.S. Army, and David works really hard for Crawford Woods Elementary School in Hamilton City School District. We have some more DAV Chapter 15 members. Ron Whitmore, Vietnam War, United States Marine Corps. If Ron is here, if he'd please raise his hand. Robert Crisp, also DAV Chapter 15, Vietnam War, United States Army. DAV Chapter 15 is involved in many patriotic events, including the events when at cemeteries when they bury our veterans. Harold Andrews is here, and he's dressed in his fancy U.S. Army clothes. Will you raise your hand, Harold? He's also an inner-city pastor, and he served his country courageously. That's Harold Andrews, Jr., United States Army, Vietnam War. Darlene Fields. Darlene is raising her hand there. She is a leader among veterans with various veterans groups, including AMVETS. She was in the Vietnam War, Women's Army Corps. David Reed is here. Also DAV Chapter 15, he just raised his hand. He was involved in the 21-gun salute, Persian Gulf, Desert Storm, United States Army. Courtney Thompson was here. An interesting note about Courtney, she's a Hamilton High School graduate of, I believe, 1995, spent 22 years in the United States Air Force, retired just recently here in February of 2017. She was, of course, in Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, United States Air Force. We've got one more veteran I want to specifically recognize, and that's Fred Schilling. He's dressed up in the uniform of DAV Chapter 15, also World War II and Korean War. But a round of applause for all of our veterans who are here today, who served our country, allowed us to practice our freedoms, protect our freedoms. Thank you, all veterans today. I'm going to introduce now the Parade Grand Marshal, Betty Taylor. Is Betty still here? Because I hope she is. I want her to hear me read this. Betty Taylor is Hamilton's 2016 Citizen of the Year, and she was Grand Marshal of the parade. She saw a need for youth in the Hamilton's mobile home park. Betty bought a mobile home herself out of her own money to be part children's library, part kitchen, part safe haven. On any given afternoon, her trailer and side yard is jam-packed with youngsters who are playing safely, who are reading books in her library, who are being fed, and many of these children are of Hispanic descent, most of whom attend Crawford Woods Elementary School. And a group of her teachers actually nominated Betty as Hamilton Citizen of the Year. I happened to ask Betty what she needed someday. I mean, to further along her program, she told me she needed large print Bibles and cans of fruit. There's a lady who could have said she needed $10,000, but she said, hey, can you give me some large print Bibles and some cans of fruit? I asked her a second time what Betty might need. She said snacks. Just an amazing lady. She could have easily said money, but she said what she really, truly needed. And she is definitely a blessing that we have in our community. Also, I recognize Jane and Monty Jacobs, who are Volunteers of the Year, Alive After 5, which was specially recognized. They're the group that welcomes you to downtown Hamilton after 5 o'clock on the first Thursday of each month. Now, introduction of Pastor John Lewis. Everybody, I think, knows Pastor Lewis, but I'm still going to give his introduction because he truly is one of our special leaders, not just in our faith community, but in our entire community. Pastor Lewis was born in North Carolina. He's married to Heather, who is an attorney and partner at Milliken & Fitton Law Firm in Hamilton, and they have 2 daughters, Taylor and Madison. Pastor Lewis graduated from Gordon College with a sociology degree in 1982. In 1986, he earned his Doctor of Ministry degree at Union Theological Seminary in Richmond, Virginia. Pastor Lewis has served as an associate minister in Williamsburg Presbyterian Church in Williamsburg, Virginia, and was the campus minister to Presbyterian students at the College of William and Mary. He also served the New Providence Presbyterian Church in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia before becoming the senior minister at the Presbyterian Church in downtown Hamilton, where he is now starting his 22nd year. I often call the Presbyterian Church Hamilton's Old North Church. I think it means so much, it's so historic, and so appreciated by our citizens. I also want to thank Pastor Lewis and his congregation for the appearance that he gives to our downtown with all the flowers and flags that the congregation and he put out each and every holiday. He's also a leader in our National Day of Prayer Breakfast, and he's so greatly involved in the city of Hamilton. Pastor Lewis will give our speech today, and it's entitled Hamilton's Faith Community, the Past and the Present. Round of applause for Pastor John Lewis of the Presbyterian Church.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for being here. Happy 4th of July to everybody. I also want to say that it's because of all the veterans, they're the reason that we are here today. But there is one special veteran here this day. My father, from World War II, as a Marine and a career Navy chaplain, Herbert T. Lewis. Dad, just wave your cap to us. Thank you to the band. Appreciate you all bringing us wonderful, wonderful music. Thank you, Mayor, for those kind comments, and for the committee to invite me to speak here on this beautiful day. Great parade, and our wonderful city that is finding new life. This year's theme is the heritage of our churches. And Hamilton and the area has a long-standing heritage of churches and how our faith has influenced our lives. Churches have played a large role and great ties to this community. The pioneers found that to be true. Their faith was so important to them. Now, I won't be able to include all the churches this day. We'd be here for a couple of months. But I want to take us on a little bit of a tour of a few of the churches and give you some history of those churches in our community. But to begin, I want to ask, we're going to have a little quiz. How many of you know how many churches we have in our city area? 126. That was close. What church was helped completed with its outside structure by William Proctor of Procter & Gamble? Trinity Episcopal Church. What was the first Catholic church in Butler County? St. Julie's Church. What's the oldest church in Hamilton? Presbyterian Church. Here's a trick question for you. Who got here before the Presbyterians but couldn't organize a church until after we did? The Baptists. The Baptists always get everywhere first. So this afternoon, I'd like to take us on a virtual tour of a few cities in your mind's eye. Rather than having you get up and walk with me around these streets, we're going to do this together, sitting right here. So if we were to walk 1 block down the street, take a left on Front Street, go 1 block, we'll be standing in front of Zion Lutheran Evangelical Church, organized in 1843, current homes since 1865, a parochial school in 1918 that brought a great deal of growth. They had a strong German heritage, and services were held in German, in the German language, till 1909. They celebrated 170 years anniversary. They are currently under the leadership of Reverend Joe Schrock. Now, if you would get in your city taxi that Mayor Moeller has paid for out of the kindness of his heart, the driver will take us across the Columbia Bridge and turn left and go about a half a mile down 128. We'll turn right up a hill, and we will now be at First Baptist Church, which many of us affectionately refer to as Mount Baptist on the Hill. Hamilton Rossville Baptist Church was organized in 1829. Meetings were held in their homes, but a building was quickly erected. 20 members started and grew quickly. In 1814, the church was officially organized as the First Baptist Church of Hamilton, but they met downtown. Not until 1970 did they move to their present site, and the current pastor there is Dr. Dan Clemens. Now I want you to get onto the Hamilton City School bus that the Board of Education has provided for us, and we will head back down 128. We're going to merge onto the High Street Bridge. We're going to come up High Street, go past the overpass. We're going to turn left on North 7th Street and left on Butler Street, go 1 block left, and there you're going to be in front of Beth Israel Synagogue, where my good friend Rabbi Eric Slayton currently serves that congregation. Located on North 6th Street, organized in 1901 by 8 families, originally met in family homes, and in 1931 they built the current synagogue they're worshiping in, and in 2011 they celebrated their 100th anniversary. Now, if you'll hop off the bus, continue on foot just across the street to 115 North 6th Street, you'll arrive in front of Trinity Episcopal Church, originally meeting right here in the Butler County Courthouse in 1823. The first service took place in the partially completed building in 1888. And yes, William Proctor, president of Procter & Gamble, donated funds to complete the exterior of the church. In 1920, they sponsored the first Boy Scout troop, and in 1921, they had the first broadcast of their worship service in Hamilton. They are currently led by Reverend Suzanne Levinsconti. Now, off the bus we go, and we're going to hop onto our Segways that Chief Bukite has generously donated to us. We're going to zip down North 6th Street, take our first left on Dayton Street, look both ways as we travel over the train tracks, make our way across 127. We'll pass Neil's Barbecue for anybody who wants a quick snack. Then pass the YWCA and arrive in front of St. Julie's Catholic Church, the oldest Catholic church in Butler County, founded in 1831. Historically, it was known as St. Stephen's Church. The Irish and German immigrants who came to build the railroads and canals caused that church to grow, and it became St. Julie Billiart Parish in 1989 when St. Stephen's, St. Mary, and St. Veronica parishes all merged together. It's on the National Historical Register of Historic Places, and it's been led for years by Father Mike Puckey. Now, if you'll hop back on your Segway and follow me south on 2nd Street, past the YMCA, past Star Tech, cross High Street right behind us, stop over at Jeff Pullman's Tires to get our tires checked for our Segways, and look at Ludlow Street right across. You'll see the First United Methodist Church, who arrived here in 1819. They were known then as the Methodist Episcopal Churches. It's the 5th building on that site, dedicated in 1926. They're 200 years old, and the pastor is Mark Finfrock. If you'll look just to the left of the Methodists, you'll see the Salvation Army. It's been here 130 years. They serve 100 meals a day. They house homeless people for shelter, basketball leagues, and every Christmas you will find them standing with their little bell and their little red triangle pot at Walmart and other stores in our community, currently led by Major Leonardo San Clemente. At this point, hop off your police department Segway and follow me back to the corner of Ludlow and 2nd, and I have to use my Uber app on my smartphone that my daughters have taught me how to use. The driver is pulling up right now. We're going to hop into that car, and we're going to drive down Ludlow Street, stop at the corner of Front Street in Ludlow, roll down your window, take a look at Payne Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church, organized in 1840, moved into that building in the 1950s, attached to the Cincinnati Circuit of Riding Preachers. And every 3rd Sunday of the month, the preacher would make his way out on horseback. Current pastor is Reverend Irvin McIntosh. Hop out of your Uber car and hop on a circuit riding preacher's horse and mosey on over just about a block to the Front Street Church of God, presently an African American congregation, originally built as St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church. In front, the design front doors are made of mahogany wood from the Philippines. Currently leading that church is Dr. Dennis Kidd. Now, if you'll tie up your horse and walk across the street, you're now standing at the Presbyterian Church, the oldest church in Hamilton. In 1791, the chaplain of Fort Hamilton was Reverend David Jones, a Presbyterian minister, and he served at Fort Hamilton on the Great Miami River. He met with pioneer families, held worship services in people's homes. In addition to this, they'd hold worship services in the mess hall at Fort Hamilton. That explains a lot about us, I think. A few years later, that church was established in 1810, but just across the street in 1816, at the First United Presbyterian Church, that was established. Now, how 2 Presbyterian churches got that close together, I have no idea, but we're taught to spread out. That church was dedicated in 1935 after it burned. And the interesting side note is one of the members of that church was Agnes Moorhead. Her father was the preacher there. And you know her. She played the famous role of the mother of Elizabeth Montgomery, a.k.a. Samantha, in the TV show Bewitched. Her name was Endora. The 2 churches merged in 1984. The problem was they didn't know what to name it. Some suggested St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. Others said, let's just keep it the Presbyterian Church. Then a fellow by the name of Tom Gamola from Westwood Presbyterian Church on the west side of town said, you know, some churches name themselves as something near their church, like Monument Presbyterian Church, or Soldier and Sailors Presbyterian Church, or River's Edge Presbyterian Church. Then he said, you know, there is that low-level dam right near your church. We decided against that name. We couldn't have our members inviting visitors to the damn Presbyterian Church. So if you'll follow me back right up the sidewalk to right here, that's a quick view tour of some of the history in the churches in this community of ours. But what are they presently doing? That's the past. We're coming together in ways that have never happened before. My good friend, Rabbi Eric Slayton from Beth Israel Synagogue, brings the Passover and Seder tradition to so many of our churches during Holy Week, and he explains to us and he enriches our Judeo-Christian heritage. On Easter morning, down here at the amphitheater, we gather for a community sunrise service. We gather at the courtyard by Marriott the first Thursday in May for the National Day of Prayer breakfast. This coming August, we'll enjoy the Unity Picnic at Booker T. Washington with a number of churches. We're swapping pulpits. We're getting to know each other, building trust, building greater relationships. We have a ministers' association where we meet once a month, over 40 churches at different restaurants. We have a wonderful time, great speakers. But we're doing more than just getting together. We're making a difference in the lives of our brothers and sisters in Hamilton. Serve City over on East Avenue, started by the Vineyard Church, helping thousands with food and clothing and shelter. Zion Lutheran Church, every year, having the open door pantry concert, raising money to feed thousands. St. Julie's Church and their wonderful Hispanic ministry. The First United Methodist Church having Operation Trunk or Treat right here with all churches and cars opening their trunks with clothing and food and items that people are in need of. And 20 years ago, the only place in Hamilton you could get something to eat was, thank goodness, at the Salvation Army. And they still do. But then a woman by the name of Lauren Marsh came to us one day at the Presbyterian Church, and she said, I want to open a meal center once a week on Fridays. And she did. The first week, they served 20 meals. That was almost 2 decades ago. This past year, I asked her, how many meals did you serve there? She said, we served over 20,000 meals out of that kitchen. We're trying to make a difference. We're trying to help. The good news, the great news is that the churches in Hamilton are coming together. But the real church, if you think about this, the real church are not the buildings. The real church are many of you right here. Your hands, your feet, doing kindness and showing love to those in our city. And every Good Friday, 400 to 500, sometimes more, gather right there on those steps. Presbyterians, Lutherans, Methodists, Pentecostals, African Americans, non-denomination. And every year I close with these words: that which unites us is far greater than that which divides us. That which unites us is far greater than that which divides us. Thank you all very much. May God bless our city and our nation, and have a happy 4th of July. Thank you.
We can now add historian to that long list of positions that Pastor Lewis has. He just took us on an historical trip that somehow included Agnes Moorehead. I also thank him for mentioning the unity of the different denominations in our city. They are making a difference. We also have, a little bit of a segue, the steeples of the churches in Hamilton are off to my right and being displayed right now. Let's talk about some patriotic music by Hams. This is the 7th summer of Hams, Hamilton Acting and Music School, which is a summer musical theater camp for Hamilton City School elementary age students. This year's production of Beauty and the Beast Jr. is Friday, July 7th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, July 8th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. in the Hamilton High Rotary Auditorium. And tickets may be purchased at the door for just $5. $5. The Hams program is directed by Mrs. Christina Fox, Ms. Meg Haven, and Mrs. Terry McKee. The students will be performing 2 selections in today's celebration of independence. They'll be singing Allegiance Rap in the Stars and Stripes Forever. While they're getting organized, how about a round of applause for this Hams group of Hamilton City School students. And now, Stars and Stripes Forever.
Let's cheer for the red, white, and blue. May our banner be waving forever, reminding us how freedom grew from the struggles once we knew. Now all should remember the day when our fathers with mighty endeavor secured all our freedom.
Great job, Ham's program. We'd like to thank Hamilton Concert Band under the direction of Dave Birchfield. I'd like to thank all the units and groups that participate in today's parade. Big thank you to our high school bands that marched today. Big thank you to the Hamilton Community Foundation and the Michael Colligan Fund. The 4th of July Committee, including co-chairman Lauren Sprague, parade coordinator Diane Evans, John Gaduli, Karen Whitmer, Dave Ballou, and all of our great volunteers. Thank you to the area Boy Scouts, the AV Chapter 15, Corvette Clubs of Hamilton and Fairfield, and TV Hamilton for recording the parade and patriotic program, and the Journal News for running the advertisements for today's events. The Float Awards, I'd like to read those right now. So, if you're ready, the Colligan Award Grand Prize goes to American Heritage Girls 0226. They also won the Altrusa Founders Award, American Heritage Girls 0226. Our Non-Scout Floats Award, first place, the Presbyterian Church. Second place, Right to Life. And a third place tie, American Legion Post 138 and New Life Vineyard Church. The Scout and Heritage Girl Awards, Colligan Awards, first place, Boy Scout Troop 925. Second place, Boy Scout Troop 956. Third place, Cub Scout Pack 926. If you want to come on up here and learn how you're going to be getting your awards, come on up here and Diane Evans will be talking to you about that. Don't forget the steeple posters. I want to thank Bob Wiley for holding the flag the last hour. Great job, Bob. And how about a round of applause for the entire day in our program. Thank you. And now you're going to hear a little bit more from the Hamilton Concert Band.